Hello, classmates. My name is Joy Stiles, and I am presenting my final project on leadership in the 21st century church. Until 20 years ago, church was considered to be relatively small and primarily local in terms of its breadth and scope of outreach. But around 1990, the church started to shift in another direction and entered the megachurch. Megachurches have a congregation of at least 2,000 members on their roster. And because of their size and also sizable financial contributions, many of the megachurches employ secular business acumen in order to govern appropriately the finances that are coming in. With proper leadership and the finances, these churches are able to do great things in their communities. Many believe that pastors should only have a love for God and have no need for any worldly goods. I say this is untrue. When a church has a great leader that's bringing in great financial gains, that money is able to turn around and go back out into the community and help with such projects as food pantries, voter registrations, and also affordable housing. There are two styles of leadership that best employ megachurches, and that is servant leaders and also transformational leaders. Servant leaders believe that serving your followers first is the directive at all times. They like to foster partnership and encouragement, and they want to create other leaders. They don't want to be a dictatorship. They want to see their followers become leaders of their own with their own visions. And conducting themselves with integrity and morality is of the utmost importance to this leader. The second style of leadership is transformational. In this style, it's more based on emotional competencies. So you're talking about friendships, self-esteem, safety, and security. How do you feel when you're with your leader? Do they make you feel safe? Do they make you feel trusted and valued? Both of these styles of leadership employ particular forms of communication. One is the transactional model of communication, which means there's simultaneous receiving and distributing messages to congregations. Another form is the democratic style of communication, which says it is supportive communication that facilitates interaction between leaders and followers. If you're not pouring into your followers, they're not going to feel valued and they're not going to give as much of their time and their energy. The same thing can be applied to a secular business in terms of employee versus a congregation. You want people to know that you care because they in turn will care back. These leaders also employ problem-finding orientation models. Now that means that they are able to see around corners and see things coming before anyone else does. They're ahead of the curve and they come up with a solution to combat it before it even happens. Two great examples of this style of leader are T.D. Jakes, Thomas Dexter Jakes, and Joel Osteen. Both of these pastors are located in Texas and have thriving congregations. Our first is T.D. Jakes, who is the bishop of the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas. He has 30,000 members, multiple locations, television syndication, and his church is worth $150 million. He is an entrepreneur who is consistent and charismatic, as transformational leaders can be, which draws people in and holds their attention, and then you can get people to buy into your vision, also to sow in to your vision. As a result of his great leadership, he was able to create an affordable housing development in Dallas that supports not only his church congregation, but the community in Dallas as a whole. Joel Osteen is the pastor of Lakewood Church. Lakewood Church has 52,000 weekly visitors and earns $70 million a year. They have television syndication around the world and several international ministries. Megachurch leadership comes with scrutiny, and we see it often in the secular world with, say, Wells Fargo CEO or United Airlines CEO. But what happens when a pastor of a large megachurch, which many look at as a business, comes under fire? Well, we saw this with Hurricane Harvey. Lakewood Church kept its doors closed initially because they sensed flooding was happening on the property, and they didn't want to put anyone in harm's way. The public said the church should be open no matter what, and it should have been a safe haven. Joel Osteen never lost his composure. He let them know that he still cares about every single person in the congregation and in the community, but he wasn't willing to put anyone at risk. He did not get into a verbal battle with anyone. Both of these pastors are visionaries, also known as pastorpreneurs. They know how to grow and maintain their congregations while simultaneously giving back to their communities. These leaders are savvy, they know how to use social media, and they know how to bridge the gap between the secular world and also the church. They exemplify how God can reach anyone, anywhere, anytime. As good leaders, we should always be present. We should always be building. We should always be building our teams. If we employ the theories that I have suggested in this video, we will be successful, much like these megachurches are successful as well.